Okay, everybody, we made it through the major arcana in the Fool's Journey. So, thank you once again for joining me here on the Third Eye of Providence for our um, January Tarot study. Now we have made our way all the way through the major arcana. We're on the minor arcana. And this is going to be set up and separated in a little bit of a different format from the other content. Today's episode is going to focus on the numbered pip cards of the suit of the wands. In the Hansen's Tarot, this one is actually called the rods, and in other versions of Tarot, the two are kind of interchangeable. Rods and wands, they are the same energies. So, like I said, we have the numbered pip cards of the rods. So we have Ace of Rods, Two of Rods, all the way through the Ten of Rods. The next episode will focus on the court cards of this suit. So let's get into the study. Basically, we're going to really focus on the important symbolism of this suit while we go through each of the cards. So again, we're using the Complete Book of Tarot, a comprehensive guide by Anthony Lewis. And let's see what they have to say about the suit of wands, also known as rods. In astrology, the suit of wands is related to the Yang group of active fire signs. So these would be connected with Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. These active fire signs befit the phallic nature of the budding wands. Let me give you an example. The budding wands. This is the Ace. And here, this one looks pretty phallic. Okay, so to get a sense of this archetypal nature of the symbol, review the following list of keywords for the suit of wands. So when the suit of any of the pips or the numbered cards of the wands appear in the reading, these are energies that you can kind of focus on. We're going to have the spark of life, creativity, enthusiasm, excitement, an impulse, an animation, growth, ambition, enterprise, boldness, fortitude, dominion, risk-taking, energetic activity, power, and strength, passion, courage, liveliness, quarreling, going for the gold, expanding one's horizons, and a desire to win. Again, the fire and active suit. So, let's see. In the tradition of reading the suit of wands, specifically when it comes to the Order of the Golden Dawn, there are several major arcana cards associated with the fire element and this suit, and they would be the Sun card, the Emperor card, the Strength card, the Temperance, the Tower, and the Judgment cards. So those particular major arcana cards combined with any of these wands energies are going to double down what the energy means of the major arcana. So in intensifying it, they kind of pair together in a way that is really powerful in the reading. Let's see. So, okay, we're going to get right into the cards, and I will show you each one as we go through them. Let's start with the Ace of Wands. Okay, the Ace of Wands. Now, this card in a reading, in the upright, what you need to know about this card is it's an ace. And aces are important in the tarot. They always signify something like the beginning of, especially with the numerology of this being one. So when the Ace of Wands comes out upright. It's going to suggest a new beginning, promises of success related to ambition, identity, career, and self. It's all about having your creative juices flowing, expanding your career, starting a new job, or a new business venture. And it's a time characterized by enthusiasm, inventiveness, ambitious goals, and innovative projects. Again, the wands are associated with this element of fire, which is the spark of life. And the ace signifies something new beginning, a birth. In the Prometheus myth, this fire is a mythical figure. Oh, Prometheus myth is a mythical figure that steals fire from the gods, signifying the awakening of the human mind. Okay, and then when the Ace of Wands in reverse, pretty easy to see the reversal of this is that problems are starting up, and perhaps somebody is lacking creative vision or motivation, or their ideas have dried up. Maybe they got off to a bad start, or they're not making the kind of effort they need to get the project off the ground. Planted some seeds, but they've refused to sprout. And the creative juices just do not seem to be flowing. And it also represents a barren period. What you can see in this card is that in the upright, we have a blossoming wand. This is to assume that this is a piece of, a tree or a branch that was recently cut. In the reverse, failure to blossom. Okay, moving on to the Two of Rods. The Two of Rods card ponders, where do we go from here? Twos are all about decision making. So when we see decisions about fire element, passions, ambitions, etc. Now, let's see what this says. In the upright, it suggests you're pondering a course of action or decision on a future path your life will take. The young man on the card is contemplating a globe with a stance of self-assurance. Traditionally, this card represents sorrows. It reminds of the sorrow of Alexander the Great amidst the grandeur of this world's wealth. Modern interpretations view the Two of Wands as a card of fortune, grandeur, dominion, and influence over others. You may feel a sense of sadness as you contemplate a potential future course of action. The number 2 is related to partnerships and collaborations and making important choices, which usually involve a sense of loss or giving up something to pursue another thing or a goal that you desire. Makes sense. His face does look kind of pensive there. So, in the reverse, we have a surprise or a miracle or an extraordinary occurrence. Something may take place that fills you with wonder and astonishment. Or, in another interpretation of it, it may suggest that you're having difficulty making this important decision about your future, or perhaps you're lacking the sufficient confidence and feeling plagued by self-doubt. Problems with your partner may also come to the surface when the Two of Wands appears in reverse in a reading. Okay, so let's move on to the 3. This is putting your ducks in a row. 1, 2, 3. In the upright, when we see the 3 of Wands, this is going to be talking about foresight, trade, commerce, and cooperation in business. 3 is an energy of cooperation for sure. So when upright, the 3 of Wands shows a man looking out to the sea, watching his ships depart or coming in, perhaps carrying goods from a strategically planned business venture. This man and his partners, if he has any, have set realistic goals and acted with foresight. There is every expectation that this cooperative enterprise will succeed, but to make sure, he is carefully overseeing each step of the process. When this card appears, you are given the green light to expand your horizons and plant the seeds for future success. The number 3 often refers to cooperative ventures, that is, two or more people pooling their efforts over a period of time to create something new. For example, a married couple having a child. Now, when the Three of Wands is reversed in the reading, it's going to suggest that something is holding you back from starting this new venture or from taking the proper steps for your future growth and development. Perhaps your goals are unrealistic, or the advice you have followed is unsound. Your efforts may have been careless or misguided. You need to reevaluate the situation and reassess your skills and commitment, as well as those of the people you have selected as your associates. It asks, have you planned optimally to create the proper structure to increase your chances for success? Again, in the numerology, we have the 1 is the start, is the new. The 2 is a decision, having to make a choice between one and the other. And the 3 is about combining these forces to create something stable. So that's where we get into the 4. The 4 energy is all about stability, especially when it comes to numerology. So let's see how the 4 of Wands is interpreted. This is about perfecting work through alliances. The 4 of Wands upright suggests that you are establishing a firm foundation as you manifest the results of your work. If you've been involved in a project, you are now at a stage of completion and are able to rest and enjoy the fruits of your labors. If your question concerns a relationship or business partnership, it is on firm footing. This card often represents rites of passages such as weddings, births, bat mitzvahs, graduations, etc. The symbolism of a harvest home is linked to the possibility of purchasing a house or moving to a new residence. When we have a reversal, it's going to hint at interruptions in completing a project or committing to a relationship. An offer on a house you were hoping to buy may not be accepted. An important goal may go unrealized as you learn that more work is required to make it reality. Rather than preoccupying yourself with worry, put your effort into getting this job done. This is generally a positive card, and any delays are likely to be short-lived. Now, let's get into the energy of the 5. Moving into 5, you have the energy of 4 plus 1, right? So we have a stability, and then we have a spark, something new, a beginning. Now, the best way to visualize in the numerology with the number 5 and the wands would be 5 is the 4 energy plus an unexpected surprise. So 5 represents changes, and passionate changes is what we definitely see in this card. The 5 of Wands. It says, rich kids playing war games. When the 5 of Wands upright appears in a reading, this is a card of competition. It suggests that you are assertively pursuing your desires, even though your personal interests may conflict with those of your colleagues. Again, 1, passion, 4, foundation. So we have you conflicting with other passions. You are willing to compete fairly and enthusiastically with your rivals to achieve your goals. This card advises you to put your pedal to the metal as you engage in the game of life. A mock battle can prepare you for the real thing. Allowing for diversity of opinions is a sign of strength in a relationship. Traditionally, this card is of riches and opulence. Perhaps only the affluent could afford the expensive outfits and leisure time to play mock war battles as depicted on this card. It's true. Now, in the reverse, this warns you of being ambushed or unfairly attacked by your adversaries. Be sure you have the proper resources before engaging in this battle. You may need to confront disputes, strife, quarrels, and unfair competition to achieve your goals. A divergence of opinions may be causing difficulty in a relationship. Sometimes this card indicates the need to settle differences in a court of law. So, okay, we have this is an energy of quarreling. 5 is about changes and disruptions to stability. So, we have this kind of transformative energy through the 5. Now we get into the 6, and the 6 is a restabilizing energy. You'll also be able to, if you remember what we've seen in the symbolism in the past cards, you'll be able to tell that this is victorious and this is enlightenment, right? This is divine guidance with the sun in the background like that. So pay attention to the symbolism and definitely rely heavily on the numerology when you're going through these numbered pip cards. So the 6 of Wands speaks of the leader of the pack. When this card is upright, this is a card of accomplishment, recognition, honors, and victory. You are rewarded for a job well done. Kudos. Even if it's just cleaning the house, you can enjoy the fruits of your labors. Creative energy and the cooperation of others are available to help you advance and accomplish your goals. Great news may be on its way. Now, in the reverse, it can mean being lazy, literally resting on one's laurels. You have to struggle to enlist the cooperation and goodwill of others. Any honors or recognition you receive may be undeserved. You may be facing a temporary setback in which your creativity feels blocked. Facing this challenge can be a journey in self-discovery. So in the upright, we have success and victory and triumph. And in the reverse, we have vanity and false pride and undeserved recognition. Interesting. Now, going into the 7 energy, we have the 7 of Wands. Show you. Now, this card is speaking from a bully pulpit. Basically, this is about courage in the face of opposition. When upright, the 7 of Wands suggests that you need to stand your ground and assertively articulate your position. Challenges may be coming at you from several directions, but you have the courage to defend yourself and overcome the odds. Success is possible despite the competing forces confronting. There may be profit or advantage in negotiation, barter, and discourse with your adversaries. You excel at the skillful use of the written and spoken word. Great card to have. So in the reverse, this warns of hesitancy and vacillation in standing up for what you believe in. The opposition you face may be causing an uncomfortable level of anxiety. Fierce competition may be filling you with uncertainty and self-doubt. Feeling under attack, you may be too timid or embarrassed to assert your position forcefully. Interesting. Yeah, number 7 is all about re-evaluation is the best way to describe this energy. Now we're going to move into the 8 of Wands, which is a very fast-paced card. The number 8 is, in numerology, all about cycles. It's about patterns, and it is a fast-flowing energy for sure. So this says flying with haste over the countryside. When the 8 of Wands comes upright in a reading, it signifies swiftness in thought and deed. You're able to progress rapidly in a controlled and thoughtful manner. Your enthusiasm and confidence propel you forward. Your quick thinking and readiness to act decisively will bring success in your endeavor. Messages and informations pass quickly to and fro. This one of the travel cards of the tarot, suggesting that a journey on a plane or a flight may be in the offing. Time spent in the countryside can be pleasant and refreshing. The flying wands in this card also symbolize Cupid's arrows and may mean being smitten by love. So again, we have this fast-paced energy of the 8. The best way I think about it is if we have the 4 as a very positive omen. We see the 2 lovers here. Well, you see, well, they're not lovers, but you understand what I mean. There's two people, and this is about contentment. If we have four doubled and four was a positive omen, I see the eight energy being similar. When this is in reverse, however, this is going to represent haste makes waste. It says you might be moving too quickly in a risky or uncontrolled fashion. Alternatively, you might be plagued by doubts or hesitations and unable to proceed at the right pace. Be sure to consider the potential consequences of your actions before rushing ahead impulsively. It's wise to be in such a Is it wise to be in such a hurry to get things done? This also can suggest travel plans being disrupted or delayed, and that a love affair may take an unexpected turn. Again, this is like the quick and clever Mercury energy, movement, power, and action and determination combined with the fire. Interesting. Now let's get into the Nine of Wands. This is called fighting the good fight. Yeah, he looks like he's been in it. Now, the number 9 is really important when it comes to numerology. The symbolism of 9 is the final single digit. So this is about culminations and fruitions and attainment. When the 9 of Wands comes upright in a reading, the wounded warrior on this card must muster the courage to face another challenge and defend himself against his adversaries. His strength, fitness, and self-determination has gotten him so far, and he may need to go the rest of the way alone. Although the odds against succeeding may appear overwhelming, he is well prepared for the oncoming attack. This warrior knows that he must make careful choices and call on all his inner resources. Such persistence in the face of difficulties and delays is necessary if there is to be victory. Should the outcome be defeat, the warrior will know that he fought honorably and with distinction. Sometimes an exit strategy is the wisest course of action. Now, in the reverse, it's going to suggest that this person is acting at a disadvantage, that he or she may be ill-prepared and feel like giving up in the face of obstacles, perhaps feeling isolated, overwhelmed, or exhausted by the circumstances. A rigid or inflexible approach to the problem is not likely to succeed. Sometimes you have to admit that a challenge is insurmountable, or that you have taken on more than you can chew. In such a case, the best course of action is to accept that you are not up to the task and move on to something new. 9 of Wands. Interesting. Yeah, it's a troublesome card to get in a reading. Even in the upright, it's just, you're almost at the point of exhaustion. So in the reverse, it's like you give in to that. And then finally, we're at the 10 of Wands. And you can it's hilarious to kind of see how we go from the 9 being exhausted to the 10 being an old man. It's like, wow, that really took its toll on you, right? So, the 10 of Wands represents being weighed down. And let's see, this is because the number 10 is, the way we look at it, it's one too many. It's not a single digit, right? So this is about completion to a point of fullness and readiness to begin a new cycle. So, when we see the 10 of Wands upright, this suggests that you have worked really hard and have achieved a great deal, but now your success is starting to weigh on you. Your sense of duty and your willingness to shoulder these obligations have been assets along the way, but the time has come to delegate and share this load. Make sure that the burden you carry is not the result of deceit or falsehood. Your commitment to getting a job well done is admirable, but there are others who are now willing to share the responsibility for the future outcome. You, my friend, need to lighten up. Otherwise, your workaholism will take a toll in other areas of your life. Again, it's going to be turning you into a crotchety old man if you keep up at that pace. So when the 10 of Wands is reversed, it's going to suggest an inability to delegate and an undue sense of responsibility for all aspects of a project. Others may be taking advantage of your willingness to do everything yourself. It's time that they stepped up to the plate and they pulled their fair load. If you don't trust your colleagues to participate fairly, perhaps you should not be working with them. Consider the proverb, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy and Jill a dull girl. Very, very insightful. Whew, that's a lot of information to take in. Now, the most important thing to remember is that the suit of wands/rods is all about passions. It's all about our ambitions. It's all about our goals and our desires, right? It's the fire element in the active position. And then we kind of lean on the symbolism of the cards and the numerology, especially when we're going through these numbered pips. So in the beginning, we have this spark of idea, this new desire. Then we go on to the 2, and it's all about having to make a decision, having to choose one way or another what we want to do with this passion. The 3 is all about, planting the seed and being positive about its, benefit and that it's going to work out in our best. The 4 is all about, having that contentment, the happiness and the joy of, getting started and starting to see the fruits of the labors, right? Then we start to see the 5, where anytime you're successful, it starts to bring in competition, or people start to feel like they need to challenge you. This is a very natural occurrence. We see this happen all the time. Anytime you start to be successful, you either bring haters or you bring, people who want with their hand out, who want from you, and they want to compete with you and they want to take whatever that you've accomplished for yourself. Then we go into the 6, which is all about this victory over this battle, right? Over, brushing the haters to the sidelines and, really showing your strength and your conviction and your power and your ability, the drive that you have behind you with this passion. And then we'll move into the 7, which again is all about having like an advantage, and you've already achieved the victory and now you're the top of the top, you're on top of the world. And then we go into the 8, which is all about traveling, right? It's all about using this swift energy, this like super passion that you have and you've been successful with it, and now you get to travel, the world is your oyster kind of energy. And then we see the 9, which is like all about coming to the fruition of this cycle from the ace to the 9, the single digits. So you're weathered, you've been through a battle, you come out on the other side, you've had your taste of fame, but you need some rest. You need to start to wind down from this cycle. And then we go into the 10, and this shows somebody who did not do that. Somebody who took on too much and tried to keep on at that same pace, which was not sustainable. And it's not a negative card. It just says that, now is the time to start dispersing and dispensing of these passions and these energies, because it's too much for one person to bear. I hope this helps and clarifies some of the symbolism and helps you be able to read these cards real quickly and demystify some of the information here. Like I said, in the next episode, we're going to get into the court cards of the wands. So stay tuned for that. You can hit the subscribe button to get the notification when I post that new content, or you can hit the save button on this playlist and go back to this video whenever you need to have a quick answer regarding these energies. So thanks again for joining me, and I appreciate the support.